Welcome back to KMSU Inside Out. We are happy to be bringing our show to you, even if we are at home and we all have to be apart. And it might be a little difficult, but I think we're all happy to be here and give our input to all of you. How do you feel about that, Mykal?
This is very something we've had to adapt to and get some stuff rolling. But I'm really excited and happy to be back hosting with you. I miss doing this in the show, so I'm glad we were able to do some a different form of it and bring it to you guys. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I think it's also really fun that we get to bring in a bunch of people and people get to be creative during this time at home. So I think it's going to be a great show.
Definitely, we've got some very cool, interesting packages and interviews for you guys set up for this show. And it's always good to be focusing on the good things happening right now.
Yeah, of course. Well, speaking of our first creative piece, one of our reporters, Chad Olsen, is going to be talking to us about Val Cylerly, which is a bike shop here in Minot, North Dakota, and he's going to give us a little more insight on that.
For local bike retailer Val Cylerly, the impact of coronavirus isn't what you would expect.
I don't know if it's impacted the business that much. It hasn't changed the business too much. It's the weather has changed. It got nice, and we're busy this time of the year. But it's been harder to purchase bicycles right now. We can't get product.
While doing their best to keep customers safe during this pandemic, Rory points out the challenges of running a business during the COVID-19 outbreak.
Well, we tell everybody to try to stay 6 feet apart. And at first, we were sanitizing our doors and stuff, and sanitizing the repair bikes that came in. But it's if you don't want to get it, it's hard in a bike shop because you have a shop that's designed for children. And how do you tell a 4-year-old kid not to stay 6 feet from you? So if you're nervous, we do curbside pickup and deliveries and stuff if you want to, or you can come in and stay 6 feet apart.
As the weather gets nicer and North Dakota reopens for business, residents of Minot are rekindling their desire to get outside.
They're ready to go. It's great. They come in the shop and they say, it's nice to see normalcy.
As the supply of bikes dwindles away and hasn't been readily resupplied due to logistical challenges, Rory is not worried about getting restocked for the summer.
It's trickling in now. We'll get more bikes in probably in about 2 to 3 weeks, probably. Just because the warehouses are bigger cities, California and Utah and some of the bigger states and stuff. So it's gonna take a little bit of time.
In the meantime, bikes are selling like hotcakes here at this local bike shop.
Hey, I'm living the day positive. It's great. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
For KMSU News, this is Chad Olsen reporting.
Thank you, Chad, for that very insightful information on Val Cylerly in Minot, North Dakota, and supporting a local business. We always love to do that. Well, speaking of Minot, North Dakota, and the lovely Minot State University, we are going to be talking to one of our professors that has had to deal with this pandemic and switching to all online classes and how that's been going. So joining me today is Dr. Sophia Rammell. She is a first-year professor at Minot State University, and she's going to give us a little insight on that. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So just tell all of us, for those of you that don't have her in class or haven't seen her around campus, just tell us a little bit about the classes you teach and how that it has been for you switching to online classes.
So I teach Spanish and linguistics here. I teach beginning and intermediate Spanish, and so teaching a Sounds of Spanish class, which is a Spanish linguistics course this semester. The online transition, it's been challenging for all of us, but I've been really impressed. I've had a lot of support within the division, and the students have been awesome. I was impressed by Minot State students before we switched to online, but even after we switched online, I've been more impressed. People are so flexible and willing to work and figure this all out together.
Yeah, I know it's been pretty tough just trying to balance everything. You're at home and you still it's like you're going to work, but you're not going to work at the same time. So it can be difficult sometimes to have a balance even when you're working from home. So I know that's probably, the same for all of us. We're trying to figure this all out together, even though we're nearing the end of the semester. So tell me a little bit about your education and where you went to school and how you ended up in Minot, of all places.
Okay, I did my undergraduate work at a University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and I was a Spanish major there. And then I moved to Indiana University for my master's and my PhD. And while I was doing my master's in Hispanic linguistics, I discovered cognitive science. And I really found I was really fascinated by the brain. So I ended up doing a joint PhD with cognitive science and Hispanic linguistics. And then I moved back to the East Coast. I went to Duke for a postdoc fellowship for 2 years in neuroimaging and linguistics. And then I came to Minot. So I ended up here. I heard about the job. And when I started looking into Minot State University, I was really impressed by the quality of education and also that it's an affordable education for students. When I came out here for my interview, I was so impressed by how friendly people were and the interaction that there was between students and faculty. I thought this is a really neat place to be. I've always gone to big schools, so it was interesting to see a smaller school, how things work. So I kind of fell in love with Minot. So here I am.
Do you even love the winters here? Because that's not easy to love.
You know, I got a really big parka and I look a little bit like a marshmallow, but I'm getting used to it.
I'll never get used to it. Trust me. It's 8 years is too long to be here. So
okay.
So I just want to know a little bit about, so do you plan on coming back to Minot State in the fall semester?
Absolutely. Yes. I'll be here in the fall and we have some exciting classes planned for the fall as well. I hope we're on campus for the fall. You know, while we made this change to online classes and I learned how to do, you know, we used Collaborate. We'd always used Blackboard in classes and used a lot of online resources, but we've never met virtually. So that was an interesting experience. Now I know how to do it in case we have to do it in the future. But I do hope we're back on campus in the fall, and I look forward to seeing everyone back in one place in the classroom.
Oh yeah, I'm sad that I don't get after all this is over because I'm a senior and I'm graduating summer. So I'm happy that we're probably going to be back in the fall, but we'll see about that. And just in a wrap up, I really wanted to congratulate you on the hard work you've put in this year, and especially being the first year having to go through all this nonsense that's going on. I'm sure it's been hard for you, but I just really wanted to give you kudos for that because I'm sure it's just been overwhelming.
Well, thank you. And thank you to all the students and to you as well. I know it's been a hard time, but everybody's been doing the best they can. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me today for this interview. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I hope we stay in touch because you seem like a wonderful lady. So
likewise.
Well, moving on from the interview, so we're going to be tossing it to one of our reporters, Cody Dwyanger. He is, I lied. It is Devan Shumway. He has been participating in a photo challenge on social media lately with a bunch of other local photographers, and they've been doing a bunch of cool work, and he's gonna tell us a little bit more about that.
Hey everyone, hope you're being safe and hope you're doing well. So for the past couple of weeks, my good friend Josh Strong has been hosting a quarantine photo challenge for photographers in the area. Every day of the week we get a different topic and we try to take the best photo that we can. Josh then posts the photos on his Instagram story and his followers vote for the best photo. So I thought I'd give you guys a behind the scenes of the photo that I will be taking for Thursday's topic, which is night. Let's do her.
Alright everyone, it's now the next morning and we're going to hop in my computer and edit the photos now. Alright, there you have it. My photo is all finished. Now I just have to submit it to Josh and he'll post it on his Instagram story today, which you guys can go vote for. Choose whichever one you think is the best. If whoever I go up against is better than me, then vote for them. Thanks for watching, and for KMSU TV, I'm Devan Shumway.
And welcome back to KMSU Inside Out. I want to say a big shout out to, that was a great package and everything. And for right now, we have Abigail Graves, who is the Residence Life Coordinator. And I have had the pleasure of working with her for the past year as an RHD. So I'll just get right into it. How has the housing office been during this time?
Well, honestly, it's been a little bit crazy at times. Right now, things have slowed down. Right now would typically be a very busy time for our office as we're preparing to check everyone out, but that's already been done for the year. So it's kind of a little bit slower than we were expecting. And so, yeah, it's been a lot of planning going into the summer and the fall, even with the uncertainty of what's going to happen. But that gives us some time to really work on some projects.
Yeah, it gives us time to just kind of like take a minute and like get some little things done around. Kind of moving into the summer, is there any like plans or something you're excited about to do? This is your first summer working as the RLC, so.
Yeah, so it's my first time as a professional working for the office. I've worked summers before as student staff, like you as a hall director. So it'll be interesting. We don't really know exactly what the summer holds with the whole situation going on right now. So we're just kind of playing it by ear, seeing how things go, taking it one thing at a time. But for now, we have our students, for the most part, who will be staying for the summer. We have them in the spots that they need to be. They'll just stay where they are through the summer. So that makes things a little bit easier. It'll be nice that once the weather is nice, because maybe we can start doing some outdoor programming and inviting the students to some sort of activities. Like right now, we aren't having really very much of anything going on because everyone needs to be social distancing and inside. But hopefully now that the weather is nice, we can start having some outdoor activities and invite people out.
Cool. Then even looking further ahead, kind of ignoring the whole situation right now, is there anything you're excited to implement for the halls during the upcoming fall semester?
Well, one thing that, like you said, is my first year working for the office, but I do have experience working in residence life at Minot State as a student staff. So one thing that I've really been working on changing is probably more for our staff and not for all students, but we're looking to change our fall training and going online a little bit more. So I've been working on that a lot. And this downtime that we've had, it's not really downtime, but a little bit slower lull that we've been having, I've been working on moving some of that training online. So that's been a fun challenge. And some days I leave with a headache trying to figure out what I'm doing, but it's been a good experience, I think. So that'll be interesting. Also, one thing we're looking at changing in the fall is currently we have a program model, I guess you would call it, and we're looking to make that a little more relational rather than hosting events, making sure our RAs are connecting with people, meeting with them, talking with them, and trying to focus in our energies on that relationship rather than maybe the program side of it. But still, we want to make sure that we're educating people in a different way. But I think it'll be a good change, especially with this year actually looking through the COVID situation. We might not be able to have those kind of gatherings anyway. So like I said, we don't really know what fall looks like. So this relational conversation, one-on-one meeting might be a better solution for this year because those group meetings might not be happening.
Exactly. And despite everything, I think it's going to be great. And I wish you guys the best of luck. And I want to thank you again for coming on to our show and talking about it during these times. And once again, thank you, Abby, for coming on. And now what we got for you guys coming up is a package from KMSU's Cody Dwyanger, who is kind of chronicling his experience with moving during this pandemic. So check it out.
There have been over 2,700 COVID-19 cases in Hennepin County, so moving into the epicenter of Minnesota's pandemic doesn't sound very appealing. But for some, it's a necessity. Beth Dwyer is an essential worker who recently moved into Minneapolis proper to shorten the commute to work. With supplies being harder and harder to find in person, Dwyer is feeling the pain of e-commerce.
From a shopping standpoint, number one, online has become king. now that I have moved, it's very frustrating because I have to order it to get it, and I'm having to wait instead of a couple days, a couple weeks.
Dwyer has started to discover the stores in her neighborhood that are most convenient for her. As she has begun shopping at grocery stores, she's noticed a more hands-on approach from the employees when it comes to sanitation.
A lot of cleanliness. They're wiping down every cart. If you do self-check, they wipe down every time someone leaves. They wipe down in between customers.
As with every other non-essential business, the management company running Dwyer's building has eliminated nearly all face-to-face interactions. This meant that Dwyer would have to sign the lease to the apartment sight unseen. Dwyer agreed to the deal, of course with a little bit of frustration.
A lot more difficult to see apartments, a lot more difficult to, get information on what a specific thing looked like. It was virtual tour or nothing.
With KMSU Channel 19, I'm Cody Dwyer.
For that insight on moving in the Twin Cities and how this might be for him and all of that. And speaking of challenges, our news reporter Tyler Luben is going to be talking about Minot and the coronavirus and all that and how it's affecting us. So what's going on, Tyler?
Oh, not much. Just in California. Everything's kind of a little crazy around here, but not too bad. How are things in Minot?
Pretty mellow. I think that everyone is anxious to get out of their houses and back to normal, but obviously we can't be back to normal yet. So we just have to be patient.
Yeah, honestly, patience is key. But for Minot State University awarded 580 degrees to undergraduate and graduate students as the class of 2020, the university announced Monday. Due to ongoing large group restrictions put in place by the state during COVID-19 pandemic, Minot State University will not host its traditional spring graduation ceremony. The university will, however, honor graduates with a week-long celebration during finals week of May 11th through the 15th, and Minot's graduation ceremony this fall. Kevin Harmon, Vice President of the United States, Vice President of Student Affairs for the North Dakota University System, announced that all campuses will return to face-to-face classes in the fall. After an extensive conversation, the North Dakota State Board of Higher Education unanimously approved a motion of support for students to return to campus in the fall while maintaining a safe environment for faculty, staff, and students. The number of confirmed cases in the state of North Dakota has increased to 1,225 confirmed cases with 540 recoveries. North Dakota is currently in the reopening process as Governor Doug Burgum has planned. Wearing a mask is recommended from the CDC and WHO. A new species of insect has come to the United States as the murder hornet has been spotted in the United States for the first time. Spotted in the Pacific Northwest, the Asian giant hornet has been tracked by scientists for years, now have made their landing in the States. These hornets are known for attacking honeybees and devastating hives. And finally, President Trump announced earlier in the week that the coronavirus task force was to disband indefinitely as America was looking to move forward with reopening states. However, after much consideration, President Trump announced yesterday that the task force was to stay together and their work would continue indefinitely. With all that's going on, it's important to stay safe, be sure to follow guidelines, and practice social distancing. After the break, Eleni will have an interview with an MSU student coping with online school and Troy with the weather.
I've been cheering since I was a freshman in high school. I coached for about 2 years. I was a head coach there. It's always been my life. I really love how involved all my teachers are, and they really care. I get a lot of real-world experience here. Public relations to me is all about helping an organization, a business, an individual be shed in a positive light. That's what it's all about. For the KMSU auction, we go around to businesses, we get donations. I got to auction off the packages on live TV. I loved everything about it. I can't tell you how much fun I had. I never knew what I was going to do, and I never had any passions. I have a broadcasting degree. I felt I was at home at school, and I finally felt I was on the right path, and I was actually going to like what I'm doing and be good at it.
Our underwriter break. Again, we always want to thank our underwriters for supporting us. Even though we aren't in the studio, we're still at home. We're still putting content for you guys to watch and have fun with. So speaking of having fun, we know a lot of students are struggling right now, especially transitioning to online classes and trying to balance everything in their lives, especially if you still have to work and you have families and all of that. So today I have one of our lovely students, Veronica Corey, with me today. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Miss being in school.
You miss seeing all of us?
Yeah, it's very different being online because unfortunately I work way too much and hours are being cut, so I can't actually go to the classes online. So I just have to play catch up.
Yeah, of course. So, in terms of classes, and I know you're in our department and we all kind of have our way of doing things. How is that working for you in terms of transitioning to online? And I know you still work, so just tell us about having to balance all of that and how there are challenges.
Pretty much, like I have my handy dandy planner, so mostly just like making sure I'm keeping up with my classes, making sure I'm still learning the material. I'm still learning a lot of stuff, especially with video editing, and so YouTube is a really big help. But with work and stuff, it's just making sure I'm getting enough sleep because it's really easy to slide back into a weird night schedule. So, but I've been doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, I think that's been a struggle.
Yeah.
So, are you finding anything particularly difficult in terms of keeping a schedule, or is it just kind of like whenever you can do things, you do them, and then there you go?
Well, pretty much it's just finding the discipline to just like sit down here at my desk and not like have my dogs come in, say hi to me, or to like just make sure I have assignments done in time and not do them last minute because I'm a big procrastinator. So
yeah, especially with all the classes you're taking, I'm sure that there's a million things you have to do pretty much every week, and you're just like, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah, because originally taking 18 credits in school was a little bit more manageable because I had like that constant reminder every day, like, oh, hey, this is due next week. But now it's just like, I got to look at the calendar, got to make sure I keep up on it, look at my emails, and depending on which stuff each teacher likes to do.
Yeah, it's always been a struggle, online for some people, and now going full time, I'm sure it's been really difficult. So I wish you good luck, especially now that we're ending the semester, and especially in the fall, you never know what's going to happen. So I wish you good luck, and I hope you finish strong. And next up, we are going to get an update from the last time we did the show. Monica Rivera interviewed her mother, and now we're getting a little update on how life is in California.
Thank you so much. I'm here again this week with my mom, Trisha Rivera. Thank you so much for Skyping me today.
No problem, Monica.
I just wanted to get an update how everything is going with the virus in California? Because here now, a lot of our stores are starting to open and they have new protocols. I just wanted to see if anything has changed there so far.
Yes, actually, there are some places that are opening up, flower shops, department stores, but you're able to order online, and then it's going to be where they deliver it outside to you to your car. So that's going to be something different. Not sure how it's going to work, but that's what they say is going to be happening.
Have they told you anything about when they think they're going to lift all of this up? Like opening new other businesses?
We're in phase 2, and we don't know how long that's going to last, but they say it has to do with our projection of how many more coronaviruses, if we start to have more or less, what they'll do to lift some more businesses to be opened.
Okay, and with any of this, with like your work and everything that you do, like we talked about last week, you owning your own business, had they given you any advice on what to do or if they're going to start opening up?
Where we drop off the vehicles, I know employees have started to go back to work. There's a new protocol where we drop off, everything's the same. You still have to wear a mask. And when you get there, you get out of the vehicle and they clean down the whole interior. They wipe down the handle where we wash and they clean down the steering wheel. So that's something different. And then now whenever you have to check a vehicle out, they're going to take your temperature.
Oh, that's different.
That's
a good protocol, though. Thank you so much again for Skyping with me, Trisha. I really appreciate it.
No problem, Monica. Thank you.
Welcome back to KMSU Inside Out. I just want to commemorate Monica for that package. Really well done. And for now, we're doing a little update with the weather with Troy. So Troy, it's been looking good for the last couple of days. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's been nice in Minot lately, and it's going to stay that way for a little bit. Get a little cold this weekend, but everyone stay safe and enjoy the nice weather we have. So currently in Minot, it's sunny. The high is today was 54, low is 28, and it is 54 degrees. As we're going to take a look at the next 7 days. Friday will be a high of 62, a low of 37, partly cloudy, a little sunny. Saturday, you might need to bundle up. It'll be 39 as your high, your low is 24, and a chance of snow in the area. Sunday will be high of 42, low of 24, partly cloudy, partly sunny. Monday, high of 46, low of 24, a little bit of sun, a little bit of clouds. Tuesday, the high will be 51, the low will be 33, cloud and sun again. And then Wednesday, you'll see a little bit of rain with a high of 49, a low of 35. And then Thursday, a week from today, the high will be 60, so weather will be turning up, and a low of 40, probably cloudy or sunny. As the weather is getting nicer, go outside, go for a walk. Do keep social distancing and stay healthy. It's important to follow those guidelines. And now we're going to take a quick little look here at some historical temperatures in Minot. The high recorded on May 7th was 84. That's a record high, and the record low will be 23 on May 7th. I'm Troy. Thanks for tuning in for a quick little KMSU weather update. Next, we have a package coming from Kyle. He's talking about isolating what it's like right now for him. So let's see what Kyle's got.
That's right. Before the lockdown began, I was already researching a new hobby I wanted to start: resin mask making. And today I wanted to show a bit of the process of making one. I started with making a master that would be the prototype. This involved using a material called monster clay. The neat thing about monster clay is that it won't dry out, and when it's exposed to heat, it actually softens, which makes it easier to manipulate. Once I had finished making the prototype, I used a silicone rubber to make a mold. I had to paint the master several times with silicone to ensure it wasn't too thin and had captured all the detail. After finishing the silicone mold, I had to cover the mold with a hard case, which I made out of epoxy putty. The hard case ensures that the mold is properly supported. Finally, we have come to the step where I actually got to use resin and make my mask. I'd pour resin into the mold and move the resin about in the mold in an act known as slush casting. Once I've removed the mask from the mold, I had to start the long process of sanding away the excess resin. Once the sanding process was finished, I get to paint the mask. For this step, I use acrylic oil-based paints. And then finally, after painting, I finished the mask by installing the tusks using resin, which led to the final result. I hope this has been informative. For KMSU TV, I am Kyle Ludwig.
Thank you, Kyle, for teaching us about what it's like to be in self-isolation and probably what everyone's going through right now. It's a nice insight to see what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, for real. And it's a difficult time right now, but we have to adjust as the best way as we can. And for right now, we just want to send a quick shout out to our underwriters. So we'll be right back.
Thank you to all of our underwriters. Trinity Health is a comprehensive healthcare system based in Minot, North Dakota.
Fiance, with all your prom and bridal needs, located in downtown Minot.
KCJB 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports.
KIZZ FM Z94, playing today's hit music.
Mix 99.9, Minot's music mix.
SRT, offering a number of services including phone, TV, internet, and security.
KRRZ 1390 AM, Minot's classic hits.
KZPR 105.3 FM, Minot's rock station.
East End, where the poor is worth so much more, located in downtown Minot.
Qdoba, easy, on time, full of flavor.
Nice Impressions, no job is too big or too small, located in downtown Minot.
MSU Beavers Hockey, online info at msubeavers.com.
Forward Communication, connecting professionals in the Midwest.
El Azteca, authentic Mexican food on North Broadway near the airport.
MSU Theater Department, year-round entertainment.
Red and Green, MSU's student-run newspaper.
MSU Bookstore, for all your campus needs.
Minot Nutrition Addiction, offering healthy smoothies and meal replacements on the go.
HBarB Construction, for all your oil field needs.
Bear's Cat Donuts, located on Broadway across from Minot State campus.
Welcome back from our break. We have a lot of exciting things coming up on the radar for the rest of the show. I know it's been a long one, but it's been a nice change to have a lot of different content and creativeness in the show.
Yeah, it's like everyone has like a chance to get something together and get it onto our show. So it's been a really good show. And one of our first things we got for you coming back is that our own KMSU Inside Out's Tayton has a special interview with KZZJ manager. So you guys better check it out right now.
Hey everyone, I'm here with one of the first sole female owners of a radio station in North Dakota. She took over that position in, I believe, 2003, was it?
2002.
2002. And Lyla Harpstead, she's been in the radio business for almost 20 years now.
Yes.
And Lyla, tell me, how has it been owning a business through this whole situation we're going through right now?
Well, I guess like before, I've always liked what I do because it's helping people, and so it's really no different now. You know, what can we do to help the businesses grow? What can we do to help them get through this? And so, you know, you're right. We've had to be creative during this time, and so some of the things we've done has helped people just like this doing Facebook Lives. So they're Facebook Live as well as on the radio. So we've done some things with the school, with the churches, and then just one of the businesses came in, and that's what she's been doing too, is she's been doing some Facebook Live things, because people can't come into their stores, but they're still watching them on Facebook Live. So we're doing some Facebook Live as well as putting it on the radio. So we kind of have been trying to be creative on how we can help them get through this.
Absolutely. And I said last week to Neil that it's really, we say it all the time, but supporting local businesses is absolutely crucial. But from a sense of you being a business owner yourself, how much more important is it to sustain a business by shopping local during a time of economic uncertainty?
It is, Tayton, it's really important that you support local, and I think this time it brings out the best in people, and you've seen a lot of that. There were very few businesses that were asked to or mandated to close in the rugby area. The restaurants stayed open because they did curbside delivery and they did, takeout. Some of the nail salons and the hair salons, were probably the two, biggest ones in rugby that had to close. But most of the retail businesses stayed open but did things a little bit different. And I think what you saw was lots of people buying gift cards, lots of people helping, realizing how important it was to have a local business. And then there was even people who had stopped me on the street in a car 6 feet away saying, we were really glad that you were able to continue to be on the radio, because we turned on the radio and there was still some sense of normalcy. You still had your guys talking, giving each other a hard time, giving us the information about what was going on, and it was nice to hear the radio still on.
Yeah. Well, guys, that was Lyla Harpstead, owner of Rugby Broadcasters here over in Rugby, North Dakota. We'll see you later.
Welcome back to KMSU Inside Out. Great package, Tayton. It was just very interesting to know about that, and I thought it's been going pretty great.
Yeah, for sure. I think you did a really great job, and it's nice to hear from someone who owns and manages a station, and that must be quite a difficult job as well. So I think that was quite interesting. And next up, we're going to be hearing from Nina Arias, and she is going to be discussing how this whole pandemic has affected the collegiate runners.
COVID-19 has wreaked havoc around the world. From panic buying to closed schools and shopping areas, communities everywhere are stuck at home and restless. With no work or school, the public has decided to hit the trails. Hello all, I'm Minot State student Nina Arias, and I caught up with fellow runner and Minot State student Nicholas Mariana to see how the packed trails are impacting his training.
It has been much more difficult. Streets are crowded, trails 10 times more crowded, and a lot of people do not know running etiquette.
Unfortunately for Mariana, overcrowding seems to be a constant issue.
Hardest part of running during quarantine is going out to different places. I have just been running from my house because I don't want to drive out to places where it's overcrowded, and I'm getting very bored of the same route every day.
Although there is no end date for the shelter-in-place order, Mariana says that training will continue as normal. For KMSU Channel 19, I'm Nina Arias.
Thank you, Nina, for that insight on how runners have been affected by this whole thing and trying to stay in shape and trying to keep up on their running during these hard times.
Yeah, for real. It's a little bit difficult, so it's good to stay motivated and moving. And while we're on the topic of being motivated and moving, here is Kayden with sports.
In the light of the COVID-19 pandemic, many people have stepped back and taken a look at their life and wondered what they could improve on. In the case of the Power 5 conferences of the NCAA, they may have found a way to improve. Reports and rumors of the Power 5 conferences leaving the NCAA have surfaced this week. The first school to have murmured these reports was MSU, after being handed a 3-sport postseason ban for the actions of a previous employee. In the investigation, MSU was fully cooperative and had no record of instruction of the former employee. Many schools have come to wonder about the NCAA and their governing body, and questions still remain unanswered. Do the SEC and Pac-12 schools need the NCAA, or is it the other way around?
Just when you thought things would never get any better, in comes Korea to save the day. The KBO and ESPN have reached a deal to televise multiple games each day.
The Korean baseball organization brings its own culture to baseball, which emphasizes playing with emotion, and yes, that includes bat flips. Gone are the ways of the humble ball player in Korea, but that doesn't seem to bother anyone much. Fans in the KBO are encouraged to sing along to individualized cheers for each member of the team, while cheerleaders shout instructions from atop the dugout. Schedules can be found on ESPN's website. For your weekly update of the sports world, I'm Kayden Cardoso. Stay safe, Minot.
Welcome back to KMSU Inside Out. Great update, Kayden. And, it's always nice to hear like some things about sports right now, especially with not much going on, right?
Yeah, especially to keep us all entertained to see what the heck is going on lately with sports. So next up, we're going to hear from one of our reporters, Phil Green, and he is going to give us a little update on his mom, and he's going to be talking to us with his mother. So let's give it to Phil.
Recently moving into a new house, Julie Green has taken quarantine as an opportunity to redecorate the new house.
So I've been doing lots of cleaning out of drawers and storage unit space, and as I'm opening up boxes, I've been finding things to help decorate the home. So I've been keeping myself busy that way. Pretty much the house has a nice base of neutrals, and then I can pop it with a little bit of color. So I've done that with some flower arrangements and different decor.
Julie Green's interior design skills have helped her turn her favorite spot in the house, the hearth room, into what she now claims the wine tasting room.
So right now I just have a very light splash of color for the spring, but that one is my favorite because it's just really intimate and cozy in there.
Quarantine has given Julie Green the opportunity to display her passion and skills inside her home.
Thank you, Phil, for giving us a little bit of update on what's going on at home with the family. And I know that all of us are kind of, if you're living at home with your parents and you went back home after this whole thing happened, we're all kind of stuck with our family for the majority. So I know it can be difficult, especially, for those of us like myself, that's an only child. So I'm the only one to keep the peace around this place.
I mean, yeah, but also provides like a good bonding time. Long, you don't know when it's going to end on type of bonding time, but still.
Or we could end up killing each other. You never know.
I hope not. But for overall, I feel like I really enjoyed how we did like this kind of like show. I never thought we'd ever do something like this. And, you got to adjust.
Yeah, it's been a great show. We got to hear from every single person in our class, and I think that was a nice change that we did get to hear from everyone and see what everyone can do skill set wise and have fun with. So I think it's been a fun time.
For sure. And then we also even had our own interviews like always and talking about stuff that's upcoming and just getting to know someone. So it's just a great kind of like feel overall I've enjoyed. So
the bonding moment for all of us.
For sure.
Well, we want to thank everyone for joining us again through, even though we're at home and we're not in the fancy TV studio, I just want to thank everyone for being with us and sticking with us and watching us grow as the semester progressed. So my name is Eleni Garbrandt.
And I'm Mykal Drosdal, and we also want to throw out a huge reminder that next week we will be doing another show. It will be our finale, and we're going to be highlighting some of our seniors, such as Eleni, and myself, Devan, and
Monica.
Oh, I hope she does not hate me for that. I just forgot for like a split second. But once again, thanks for tuning in with us this week, and we'll see you guys next week. And make sure to tune in.